blue tongue
This
stinks.
is a shared cage, temporarily, until we get our outdoor tortoise habitat finished. I have our baby Aldabra tortoise in here for the time being. This is one of the two largest species of tortoises. It's sort of up still kind of in a debate which species actually gets larger, the Galapagos or the Aldabra. But the two species are from opposite sides of the world. These guys are from a small little island just north of Madagascar off the coast of Africa. And the Galapagos are from off the coast of South America. So completely different sides of the world, but they almost look identical.
Okay.
You saw our big tortoise outside, the sulcata.
Oh, we actually haven't seen him
You haven't
yet.
seen him yet?
No.
Cool. Well, when we get out there, try to remember that this guy is going to get about 3 times the size of that.
Okay, wow.
Yeah. This usually has a much larger anaconda in it, but currently I just have him in there because our female is on a breeder loan that we have partnered up with another partner, a friend of mine, that we're going to be breeding her. And she's probably 3 times the size of him.
Yeah,
Are
I watched.
anacondas friendly at all?
Yeah, kind of. They're not as friendly as a ball python by any means. You know, anacondas are a little bit more of an unpredictable species, but if you work with them a lot, especially when they're young, you can get them to the point where they're pretty docile and things like that.
Okay, yeah, I know. I'm guessing you know Matt and Kurt. Okay, yeah, in the video that they did on their YouTube channel, they talked about how, like, about that breeder program or loan. Yeah. Whatever.
Yep. Currently, I have to take our Cobra off a display because people think it's funny to make him strike the glass a lot, and he had his face all bloodied up from the inside. So
Oh, poor guy.
he is unfortunately like in the back healing right now.
Okay.
So that's kind of a bummer.
Yeah.
If you guys want to, I can get out one of the Gila monsters. It's just going to take me a minute to remove all the whatnot.
You don't have to. That's okay.
They're pretty cool animals. Not a whole lot of people have a whole lot of interaction with them. They're the only venomous lizard in the world. So this right here is kind of what I was talking about earlier when I said that monitor lizards are my favorite. This species right here is my favorite reptile alive. This is an Asian water monitor. So these guys right here, and a lot of people think it's kind of fun to just throw a live rat into their cage and watch them chase it down and stuff, but I found over the years of working with these guys, you see how he's like looking around? They are so aware of their world that if they start to think, I have to kill things to survive, they get in this predator mindset where I'm this ruthless killer and you don't want to mess with me because I killed so I live. He knows the difference between something that's alive and something that's dead. He has only ever eaten dead things that I have brought to him. So he knows that I am his whole mechanism of survival. He's never had to kill anything before, and we'll see that in a second here. And so over the 4 years that I've had him, we really bonded over food because he knows what's going on.
Oh, hi.
Yeah, the biggest and almost the only way to a lizard's heart is through their stomach. That is the most motivating thing to them by far.
Okay.
Yeah, these guys get really, really big. I call them tree alligators because they almost get the size of an alligator, but they can climb in trees and do all kinds of crazy stuff that alligators can. Yeah, you'd never find one of these around here. They're from Asia, so.
Okay, yeah.
I'll show you what happens when he sees this. Come on, buddy.
Strong feeding response.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
He knows what's going on too. We've done this for.
Yeah, how old? Or how old is he?
He's coming up on 4.
Wow,
actually.
okay.
Usually what I try to do is I try to get him onto the ground.
Hi.
Then we do this. In the wintertime when I have jeans on, it's a lot easier for him.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, he's climbing up your legs.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Wow. Yeah. Oh, the Savannah monitor is curious behind you.
Oh yeah, that's the monitor behind you.
Yeah. But
Wow.
this is how he gets almost all of his meals. So he knows he's got to come to me, he's got to treat me right, or else he's not going to get fed. And that is what he wants more than anything. So
How did you train him to climb up you?
just like that.
Just like his
Just
son.
feeding, yeah.
Make it follow you?
Yep. And so he does that. When I have him out on the floor and stuff, he'll crawl right up my leg because he thinks like, oh, maybe if I do that, he'll feed me. So
So he does things.
Wow.
Really, really cool animals. Yeah, he did that. Absolutely.
Okay. Hi. Hi there. Whoa, that's interesting skin.
gosh,
I was not expecting that.
Me either.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah. And you see their tail is flattened to be as almost like a water paddle. but
Can they-
which is similar to an alligator, being that they use their tail to really propel themselves to the water. The big difference though is that their toes are not webbed, so they also have those claws that enable them to actually climb. So they're adapted to trees and water, which is kind of a contradiction. It's an amazing thing. Right?
Yeah.
But I'll put it back up here under his light so he can digest those meals there. He gets fed about every other day. I give him a variety of stuff. It's not.
That's quite often, right? Or,
I
didn't know they.
Yeah.
I mean, we have snakes, so I'm used to.
Yeah,
you
lizards
know,
have a much faster
Okay.
metabolism than does a snake.
I know Peyton eats every day.
Oh, really? I didn't know that about lizards.
Yeah.
Yep. So I like to give him quite a varied diet. Rats are easy because we breed all of our own rodents back there, but he also gets a lot of fish, eggs, insects, things like that.
Do you just like give him an egg?
Yeah, usually what I'll do is I'll like break it up into pieces. The shell is really good calcium for them. It's really good. And a lot of infertile, we breed a lot of our animals here, so infertile snake eggs are free meals.
Yeah.
But he does poop a lot. You see, I have to change this at least once a day, if not twice a day, in his water.
No way.
Yeah.
Wow.
Water is the toilet. It's a lot of work over here, absolutely. We have a little savannah over here. They're pretty cool too. They're like a mini version of this here. I like the savannas because they're not quite so intimidating to people.
Yeah.
You know, they're not this massive animal. This is not a fully mature adult, but it's like 90% there.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep. So I got down, and here's another animal that I took out to the birthday party with me that I brought back here. I haven't had time to clean his glass yet. And you can kind of see by the shape of the glass there what sort of an animal this is. Something that's very active and very
Yeah.
anxious.
Oh, an alligator. Wow.
Yep. So this is our alligator. His name is Beauregard. I currently have his mouth taped shut because he was being handled by a bunch of 6-year-olds. But
Right.
once he calms down after a moment, he's puppy dog tame.
Really?
Can I pet him?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Oh,
I
wow.
don't tape his mouth shut because I'm worried he's going to bite people, because I really genuinely don't think that he ever would. He's so dog tame. It just makes people feel better.
Yeah. I've never had an alligator before. I think
grew up in Florida.
maybe a crocodile at the Topeka Zoo years ago, but it was very small.
Yeah. This guy right here is coming up on 3 years old.
Okay, wow.
Yeah, those big crocodiles.
Wait, in crocodiles we have
Florida.
the American crocodiles and alligators in Miami, and the huge crocodiles, those I would not let that fresh. But the alligators, the food is so rich there that they're really around people and they don't do
They don't
anything.
care. Yeah, they don't care.
I mean, we go like this to
How
them,
often
those
do you
huge
feed them?
alligators, and
Yeah. He only eats once or twice a week. Alligators can actually get obese really easily because he runs around his cage all day. Monitor lizards are very active because their brains are working so much. They're like a dog. They're curious, just getting into stuff all day. So they burn those calories off. That's why they have that lean body type. No matter how much he eats, he's going to look pretty lean. Alligators,
I didn't know that.
they are not
Where do they put their fat?
everywhere.
Everywhere? Is
see this?
Your little body.
And all this. He's a chunker.
Cute baby.
So the thing about alligators is the only time they're ever really going to move is when they're running after something they can eat. Other than that, they sit and they wait for that next meal. So extremely stationary animals that can get obese in captivity really easily because the fun thing about alligators is their feeding response is insane. They will eat like an endless pit. If you keep offering them food, they will keep eating it. A lot of people think that that's fun to do that, but in the long run, you're shortening your alligator's life by a massive amount because their liver is way over processing. They're going to build up fat tissue. It's a pretty common thing you see in especially zoos.
So how come in the wild they don't do that?
I think they just have to work harder for their food. It's not
Because-
just delivered to them.
Because I see when I'm going in Everglades and they're like alligators everywhere and they have literally birds walking over them, ducks walking over them. And there's
Honestly, I don't know. In captivity, though, it's just too easy a food. A lot of times people just put it right in front of them, they eat it, and that's it. They're not really swimming through. Alligators have a decent sized range, so they have to swim through a lot of space on a daily basis. They have interactions and do things. But when you keep an alligator by itself in captivity, those sorts of things can develop.
Yeah. Okay.
Pretty cool animals. Yeah, absolutely.
I love his hands.
Yeah. So that's kind of one thing I was talking about compared to I call that
His hand, it's like a pen.
I call that a tree alligator. This is the real alligator. This is so specialized to water. You can see their
Yeah.
feet are webbed.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh.
those claws are not capable of climbing. These guys, you know, they can climb up a mud slope, but you're never gonna find one of these in a treetop.
Right.
You can find one of those literally anywhere. This is why I think they're so cool.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so my first question is, did you start Manhattan Reptile World?
So I personally did not, but I'm currently like the main owner here,
Right.
main operator. I'm here 6 days a week except for Sunday. My business partner that I breed all the ball pythons with, and not just ball pythons, but everything, he started this about 10 years ago.
Okay.
And I bought into the business 4 years ago, and now it's a partnership.
Okay, awesome. How many species do you personally own?
Oh man, that is a crazy question. Without sitting down and making a list, I could honestly answer that.
Okay.
Probably at least 30 to 40.
Okay, and then like, what's a ballpark of how many species have you worked with in total?
Oh man, well over 100.
Awesome. What species of reptile does Reptile World breed?
So right now, out at our facility, we mainly focus on ball pythons because they make
Okay.
some of the best pet snakes out there.
Uh-huh.
And as far as snakes go, we have the ball pythons, we have corn snakes, we have bull snakes, we have several different species of rat snakes, king snakes, we have black-headed pythons, we have loma pythons. Yeah, I'm gonna forget some stuff here. Yeah, the list could go on for quite a while.
Okay, awesome. Do you breed spider ball pythons?
Yeah, I do, and that's
Okay.
something that I have. If you want me to talk about it, I can. I have a pretty
Yeah.
decent opinion on.
Yes, please.
So I have been breeding ball pythons for like 10 years now.
Okay.
Spider ball python was one of the first morphs that I ever got myself. So the big thing about it is when you're taking care of an animal, you have to ensure that its health is the number one thing. Now, if an animal is eating, an animal is defecating, the animal is shedding, and all of those things are in line with how a wild type normal snake would be, then personally I don't see anything wrong with breeding something or keeping something that has a little bit of a neurological issue such as a head wobble. Now there are certain spiders that have it to a more degree than another, and when I see a spider that has such a bad head wobble that it can't even keep itself upright, I would never breed that animal.
Okay.
The only spiders that we keep are ones that have the most minimal head wobble.
Okay.
Just because that does seem like a more very desirable thing,
Right.
but it does not affect their health.
Okay, sounds good. Let's see, what's my next one? How would you, oh wait, what reptile would you recommend to a first-time owner? Like if somebody doesn't own a reptile?
Yeah, so there's like 4 species that I always recommend to begin with.
Okay.
There's ball pythons, corn snakes if you want snakes, and on the lizard side, crested geckos or leopard geckos or even a bearded dragon. Those are all great starters.
Yeah, my only reptile is a leopard gecko. I hope to expand in the future, but I think,
Awesome.
yeah, he's been awesome.
Awesome.
Let's see here. What are your thoughts on using like calcium sand with reptiles?
So it depends a lot on the reptile and specifically more on the age of the reptile. So babies, absolutely never. Because especially a little gecko, something like a baby leopard gecko, if you put it on sand of any kind and it goes after a cricket, it can get a mouthful of sand and get impacted very easily because their intestines are just so tiny. Now, as they age, 2 things happen. One, their intestines get bigger, so they are able to pass little bits of sand if anything is ingested.
Okay.
2, and the really big thing that I've noticed is that geckos and most animals that are older, they get better at eating. They get better at targeting and actually not just going face first into the sand hoping that they get their cricket. They use their tongue to strategically grab it. Babies are a lot more prone to just go accident.
Okay, yeah. Let's see here, what's the next question? We're almost done with the questions.
Yeah, you're good. No worries.
Do you ship the reptiles that you breed?
Yeah. So we do all of our breeding and we ship a lot of animals out.
Okay.
Between Manhattan Reptile World, our own business, and things like that.
Yeah, okay. What is your own business called?
So I have Classy Herps. If you ever look us up on YouTube, that's kind of my own personal thing that I have going on with myself. I don't know if you've ever heard of that at all. I have a YouTube channel too.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys go subscribe to him. Let's see here. Do you sell at expos?
Absolutely. So I am at an expo almost every single weekend. Last weekend I was up in Lincoln, Nebraska. I think I actually get a break this weekend, and then next weekend is Tulsa, Oklahoma. It's constant.
Yeah, I know the nearest reptile expo to me that I'm hoping to go to for my birthday is the Portland Metro Reptile Expo. Do you go to that?
I have never been to that one before.
Okay.
No.
And let's see here. What media platforms, like social media, can people find Manhattan Reptile World at?
Primarily Facebook. We do a whole lot of stuff on Facebook. So if you look us up on Facebook, Manhattan Reptile World, you can follow us, see all the stuff that we do in our zoo, along with breeding programs and other things like that. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much for
Absolutely.
Basically, how does this rat operation work?
So this back here is the bulk of the work, just to be honest. There are so many rodents in this room. Honestly, I couldn't even guess. Each one of these bins essentially looks something along the lines of this. There is a male. This is a nice little Dumbo.
Hi.
And then there's 3 females. This is a pregnant mama.
Can I hold one of the babies?
Yeah. And this is a little rat pup.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
Well, that's what you're feeding to your. I mean, you feed the big
I
rats.
feed these
but
to my snake.
So baby snake would eat one of these. We sell these as feeders to the public throughout. We're one of the only people in the area that honestly breed rodents on any decent sized scale. So people from all over come to us for feeders. Yeah, we've got freezers
do you
full.
ship them?
Yeah, we can ship them.
Do you have info about that?
Yeah. I can get you one of our business
Thank you.
cards up front.
I would
Sure.
love that
Yeah.
just to see how much it would cost to ship it to Texas because it's so expensive.
Shipping is expensive because you have to pack it freeze dried, and
That's
there's
why we
just
go to
no
the
way around
expos
it.
just to not pay the expense.
And then there's mice here.
Yeah.
Wow.
So there's kind of sort of 2 parts. So
Okay.
this and that whole row over there are all of the rats, the breeder rats, what I say. So that's how each tub is set up in a breeder colony, and they're at different phases, whether they have peakies, pups, weaned rats, and then once they are taken from their parents, all of the rats go over into one of these bins.
Perfect. Okay.
And essentially it goes smaller to larger, large rats down there, small ones up here, so they get put in here when they're taken from their moms.
Okay.
And now over here, behind you, all of these smaller tubs have mice in them. And the mice are set up essentially the exact same way. You can see a bunch of these pregnant ones.
Oh.
See how fat she is?
Yeah, I love that orange one. She's cute.
Fat little mouse right there.
Wow.
And so they're going to have their litters and do the same thing.
Right.
And then as that process continues and we have to wean the babies, mice go into here.
Oh.
Yeah. We don't usually show a whole lot of this because these conditions are not exactly pet conditions by any means.
They're not
but
pets.
they're not pets, they're food.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
yep. Yep.
Oh my god.
So we
Well-
have lots and lots of rodents.
Yeah, that's
Sure.
wow.
Yeah.
Nice.